Hello all, I'm Marin. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my 2025 book haul. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now in 2025, I bought an absolutely ridiculous number of books, and I did not read the bulk of them. So what I am doing with this video is going through all of the books that I picked up this year with the intention to go back through this video as part of Bookmas in 2026 to see how many of them I managed to get read during the course of the year. So in 2026, I am setting myself a goal to read 65% of the books on this list. And I'm going to be doing this through a vlog series, so you can stay tuned for that. So this is basically me just putting it out there and listing all of the books that I purchased. And then we're gonna go back and take a look and see which of these I get read over the course of the next year. I am putting myself on a book no-buy for at least the first 6 months of 2026 because the number of books that I purchased is, as I said, completely ridiculous. And I also purchased a bunch of them in 2024 that I also did not read. So I need to start working through my physical TBR and not add books unnecessarily to an already large list of books. So we're gonna go ahead and just dive on in. I'm going to take you through all of the books that I purchased in 2025. And then at the end, I will total it all up and let you know what 65% of this amount actually is. So let's get started. Okay, starting us off, we have Inferno by Dante Alighieri, which I have read and just wanted a copy of. A box set of The Handmaid's Tale and The Testaments by Margaret Atwood, both of which I have read. Mansfield Park by Jane Austen, which was a Christmas present. Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, which was not. The Voyage Home by Pat Barker. The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which I have read. Games Untold, which I purchased as an ebook. The Same Backward as Forward by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. The first version of this was in Games Untold, but this has his POV as well, so it's a 2-in-1. Glorious Rivals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, which I have read part of but have not finished. The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett, which I have on ebook. Empire of Shadows by Jacqueline Benson. Thief of Night by Holly Black. First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, which I actually DNF'd, so I will be unhauling. Good Spirits by B.K. Borison, which I loved and will not be unhauling. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I'm Still Here by Austin Channing Brown, which I have read. The Stranger by Albert Camus, which I did read and did not like, so have unhauled. The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Allie Carter, which I have as an ebook. College Girl Missing by Sean Cohen. Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole, which I have read. And then I have the next two in that series as well. So we have Glow of the Everflame and Heat of the Everflame, which I have not read. House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. This was a pick for the Literally Dead book club several years ago, and in 2026 I'm planning on reading all of the backlist books from the book club that I haven't read. This one needs to be read physically, and I could not find a copy, so I went ahead and picked one up. Ride or Die by Delilah S. Dawson. This was something that I got from the Scholastic Book Fair. The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. One Day Everyone Will Have Always Been Against This by Omar El Akkad, which I have read. What Strange Paradise by Omar El Akkad, which I have not read but just got as a Christmas gift. The River Has Roots by Amal El Motar, which I have read. Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett, which I have not read. One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune, which again, I have not read. Then we have a bunch of books by Rachel Gillig, all of which I have not read. So we have The Night and the Moth, One Dark Window, and Two Twisted Crowns. Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace, which I have read. And then we have several that I have not. So first is The Weaver Bride by Lydia Gregovic. The Road to Jonestown by Jeff Gwynne, which I just got as a Christmas gift. Waco by Jeff Gwynne. I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman, which I did read and really loved. Black AF History by Michael Harriot. The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. The Sirens by Amelia Hart, which I have read. The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings. Deep End by Allie Hazelwood, which I have read. Problematic Summer Romance by Allie Hazelwood, which I have not. And then I also picked up Two Can Play by Allie Hazelwood, which is an audiobook only right now, but I think it's coming out in print in 2026. I have Not in My Book by Katie Holt as an ebook. And then next is a Christmas gift. This is The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love by India Holton. So obviously I haven't read it because I just received it. Next, I have an ebook that I purchased, which is Will Prescribe You a Cat by Siu Ishida. Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson, which I got from the Scholastic Book Fair. A bind-up of 2 shorter works by Stephen Graham Jones. So we have The Babysitter Lives, which I have read, and Killer on the Road, which I have not read. However, I do have a few days left in the year, and I am hoping to get this one read as well, which would check this book off. I have another ebook, which is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. The Shining by Stephen King, which was a Christmas present. We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cleaver, which I did read. Penitence by Kristen Koval. Notes on an Execution by Danya Kukafka, I believe. Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. The Disenchantments by Nina LaCour. The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhon, which I did read. Dopamine Nation by Anna Lemke. Teach Like a Champion 3.0 by Doug Limov. This one obviously is not going to be read in one sitting. It won't be part of a vlog. I just wanted it on my professional development type shelf. We Fell Apart by E. Lockhart. Severance by Ling Ma. Then we have 2 books that I have read. So we have The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana, which I read a couple years ago and gave 5 stars, so just wanted a copy to have on my bookshelves. And her newest release, which is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, again by Sangu Mandana, which I have read. Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie, which I have read. Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey, which I have read. The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, which I have read. The Beauty of Your Face by Sahar Mustafa. Swept Away by Beth O'Leary. If It Makes You Happy, which is an ebook by Julia Olivia. The Things Gods Break by Abigail Owen. When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. Thin Air by Michelle Paver, and Wakenhurst by Michelle Paver. The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner. Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. We Own the Night by Ashley Poston. All right, y'all, I'm into the final part of this list. I know it's been a long one already, so let's not waste time. We're into the authors' last names that start with S. So I have 3 books from Lila Sage. I have Swift and Saddled, Lost and Lassoed, and Wild and Wrangled. These are the last 3 books in her Rebel Blue Ranch series, and I do want to finish this series in 2026, but we'll see how it goes. Then I have With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. I did read this one. This was a Literally Dead book club pick this year, and it was a pick for the Buzz cover prompt of transportation on the cover, so I did get this one read. Next, we have a sequel. This is the Unico graphic novel series. This is being translated and written by Samuel Satin, but it was originally released in Japanese. This is a series that I watched an anime version of when I was little, so I'm curious to see what the graphic novel version looks like and how closely it's tied to that anime. I picked up the first one in 2024, have not yet read it, so this is the sequel. I got this from the Scholastic Book Fair, obviously supporting my school, but also wanting to read this series. Next is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by B.E. Schwab. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by Alvin Schwartz. This is a collection of all 3 of the volumes of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark in one bind-up. Then we have The Dark Mirror by Samantha Shannon. Among the Burning Flowers by Samantha Shannon. And then another series that I bought almost in its entirety, even though I haven't read book 1 because I am terrible that way. We have Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver, Wild Side by Elsie Silver, and Wild Card by Elsie Silver. So I sure hope I like this series. Next is a sequel to a book that I did read in 2025, and that is Everyone on This Train is a Suspect by Benjamin Stevenson. We have The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which I did read as part of my Classics vlog. Cursed by R.L. Stine, which is a collection of his Fear Street novels put into one bind-up. And the same for this one. This is Fear Street True Evil. This is the Cheerleader series. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but again, 3 books in one bind-up. Next is Cracked Up to Be by Courtney Summers, which was supposed to be a buzzword pick, but I DNF'd it like 25 pages in. I'm not fully giving up on it. I want to give it a try again. It just wasn't the right time for me to be reading this, I think. Next up is a whole collection of books. So I purchased the entire series of The History of Middle-earth by J.R.R. Tolkien and his son, Christopher Tolkien. These are bind-ups of his unfinished writings that kind of flesh out the Lord of the Rings universe, starting with before the First Age and then moving through. I have always wanted to own these, and Amazon had them discounted for Prime Day, so I went ahead and picked up the full series of these. These are books that I plan on sitting down with and really delving into, so they're not going to be part of any vlogs because I wouldn't be able to do them justice, I don't think. I need to be able to go through them at my own pace because they are more dense. They're not true stories. They're more like histories, as the name would imply, but I did pick up the entire series. So in those box sets are 15 books. One is the Silmarillion, which I actually already own, and then also Unfinished Tales, which I also already own. But these have an index that reference the books so that you can see like where everything is talked about, and it needs the page numbers of the correct version in order for you to find what you're looking for. So they included the Silmarillion and Unfinished Tales into that series as well. So these are 15 books that I did bring into my collection in 2025. These are more like collector's things than anything else, but I do plan on reading them, just not in a vlog. So you will not see these in the vlog series that I mentioned. Then I have Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay, The Shoemaker's Wife by Adriana Trigiani. Another book that I picked up from the Scholastic Book Fair, this was like a discounted one, I think it was only $2. It's called Just Princesses. This is by Crystal Velasquez and illustrated by Manuel Pretano. It's fairy tale-ish, I think, but not actually a full retelling. Then I have Ruby Ridge, The Truth and Tragedy of the Randy Weaver Family by Jess Walter. Two more graphic novels that I picked up at the Scholastic Book Fair. So we have Pocket Peaches and Pocket Peaches at the Fair. These are by Dora Wong. We have One by One by Ruth Ware, which is part of my winter TBR. 0 Days by Ruth Ware. Lucky in Love by Casey West, which was another pick from the Scholastic Book Fair. This one was discounted for $3. Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yumbao. Finding My Way by Malala Yousafzai. And then an ebook wraps things up, and that is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. All right, all. So those are all of the books that I purchased or brought into my collection in 2025 because some of them were gifts. And that works out to a stupidly high number of 123 books. Yeah, I know. Of those 123 books, I read 25 of them in 2025. Yeah, I know, it's terrible. That leaves 98 books from this list that I still need to read. Now, as I said, I'm setting a goal to read 65% of these books in 2026. So I'm doing that by putting some of these onto TBRs that I'm planning on reading in 2026, whether that's seasonal TBRs or TBRs for vlogs, etc. I have planned out quite a bit of my reading in order to fit these books in as best I can. So I do have 32 of these 97 on official TBRs, but that still leaves quite a few books that need to get read. So if we do the math and we calculate it out, 65% of those 98 books works out to 63 total books, which is doable, but I'm really gonna have to buckle down and focus on these books because otherwise they are not gonna get read. So that is part of why I said I'm putting myself on a book no buy. I do have some pre-orders that I have coming in, but aside from that, I'm really limiting myself in terms of book purchases in 2026 because I need to make a dent on this list of books as well as the books that I got in 2024. And until I get to a good place with that, I need to go ahead and continue with the book no buy. So I need you all to hold me to this because I have enough books. I also have like all these ones behind me. Several of these have not been read either. So, you know, I have plenty to read, plus I have the library, I have books on my Kindle. I don't need to purchase new books. So I'm gonna keep telling myself that, no new books, no new books, in the hopes that I can achieve the 65% goal. So as I mentioned, you will see a replay of this video when I do my Bookmas videos for 2026, and we will see how well I managed to do. So hopefully I will get a lot of these books read, because this is just excessive and I am well aware of that. So there you go. That was my 2025 book haul. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me. If you made it to the end of this video and would like to leave an emoji to show you were here, you can leave the book stack emoji in honor of the stupid number of books I brought into my collection in 2025. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.